Welcome back to the how-to guides on using your Treasures from Tikashi cards. Today we're going to do the 6-card reading. It's a great reading to do for yourself and also a great one to do for somebody else because it gives a really good overview across your life. Now, I'm sure you're already aware that inside your Treasures from Tikashi cards, there's a little pamphlet showing the different readings, both the basic reading guide and the 4 steps one. We have videos, so follow the links below. Today we're going to do the one on the back, which we call the 6-card reading. Now, as always, give your cards a good shuffle. While you're giving your cards a good shuffle, keep in mind that you would like some guidance on the direction you need to take and the best possible outcome for yourself for each of the categories that we're going to cover today. When you finish shuffling, you can take cards from random places in the deck if you like, or you can take them from the top. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to take them straight from the top today. We're going to put the first one in the middle, face up. And then I'm going to place 5 more cards around the outside of that first card. The important thing when doing a reading is that you interpret both what the card is saying as well as the person sitting in front of you. If you're doing this reading for yourself, then you will know because the words will jump out at you, indicating what's the most important section written on this card. Now, our first card is all about you. This is who the reading is for. So it's going to tell you about this person, their challenge, what they need to work on, or often an issue that is important in their life. The first one in our example is light. Let's have a closer look at the treasure card light. As we read through this card, we can see that it is talking to us about the difference between fear, which is heavy, and love, which is light. Keeping in mind that this is describing the person that we're doing the reading for, what they need to work on or what's important. The key line, "you don't need to take life so seriously, lighten up," is a really good indicator in this case that this person might struggle with the difference between heavy and light. We could interpret that this card is telling that this person needs to bring more lightness in. So when we think about the card being for them, perhaps this card is indicating what they need to work on. So it does very clearly state about needing to lighten up. So this is something that this person might need to do, might need to work on a little bit more to bring more joy, radiance, lightness and ease into their life. Okay, let's move along and have a look at our second card. The second card is all about love. Tells you about issues or what is needed in relation to your love life. Turning over the card in our example, we have the Tenacity card. The Tenacity card is all about feeling good about your adversaries and the strength of tenacity within you. It talks about being tenacious without being stubborn and allowing great forces are working to bring you great changes. So as this card is turned over in the love category for our reading, there could be a number of aspects that are prominent for this person. One is that they are quite determined in their relationships, that perhaps maybe they are being a little bit stubborn and they need to just come back to being tenacious in their love life. However, it could also be interpreted that there are amazing forces at work to bring wonderful changes in this person's love life. So that could also be quite exciting. You really need to work out what it is for you or for the person that you're doing the reading for. If you are doing a reading for someone, again, the information will jump out at you and you will know which aspect is the right one. Category number 3 is all about money. So this card is going to tell you what you need to do about money, what opportunities might be around or what your attitude is and what you might need to work with to have a greater flow of money in your life. In our example here, we have the treasure card Joy. Reading through the treasure card, the Joy card is all about creating happiness and joy in your life, that nothing is too insignificant. It also, the joy card indicates that having an attitude of joy can melt away all difficulties. When we see this as in the position of the money category, there is an indication here that perhaps this person needs to bring more joy in around their feeling about money, how it works for them, what they can do with money, and that money isn't a hard, challenging thing. So with a little bit of joy, that's going to melt away those difficulties that they might have around money and therefore create more. So there's a really good card for this person to show them that they need to bring in some more joy around money. Our fourth category is enterprise. Now this tells you about business opportunities, creative pursuits, entrepreneurial possibilities. It might also indicate some things that might be around and how to see them in regards to enterprise. In our example, let's see, we've got the connection treasure card. Now, connection treasure card says all about never being alone, that you're never separate, that everything is connected. So this aspect of connection in relation to enterprise means that looking at business opportunities, creative pursuits, entrepreneurial possibilities, you need to be looking at the connection, that you're not to do these things by yourself, that everything is connected. And when you do have those connections, the bond is never broken. And it will make things easier. If you do things by yourself in business, you're going to have a really hard time. The last line about an old friend may wish to reconnect with you. Perhaps there's an old connection around business that's going to come back and provide you with some support or link you up and connect you with somebody else. So it's a really interesting card to have in the enterprise. So again, when you're reading the card, it will give you indications in relation to the category. Our next category, number 5, is direction. This tells you what you have to do or what you have to look at in order to attain any or all of the other categories we've just looked at. So, what do you need to do in direction to be able to attain that aspect of enterprise? Bring whatever is needed into your area of money or love. Let's have a look at our example today. We have the self-recognition card. Now, the self-recognition card is all about recognizing who you are as a spiritual being expressing in a body. It's time to feel good about who you are and discover yourself. You're not looking externally for approval. You're recognizing it within yourself. It's also saying that new opportunities are around. In the position of direction category, this indicates that some self-recognition is needed in order to achieve that enterprise aspect and connecting with others and working with others in your creative pursuits. That you need some self-recognition in order to bring more joy to the area of money in your life. You need to recognize who you are and be joyful. And when you're joyful about that, lots of things flow. Some self-recognition. Perhaps you need to recognize in regards to the love category that you are tenacious and you give your all in relationships. This card really can link in lots of different of the aspects and give you a really good insight into how to achieve those other categories about yourself, love, money and enterprise. With that in mind, that brings us to card number 6, and that's difficulties. The difficulties card goes hand in hand with the direction. It's going to give you a bit of a heads up about what's going to hold you back in achieving these things. Just keep in mind that the card, perhaps if it is an abundance or the worthiness card, is not necessarily that abundance or worthiness is going to hold you back, but rather the lack of it. So let's have a look at our example. In our example, we've got the simplicity card. So our difficulty is making things difficult. So it's not that simplicity is going to hold us back, but the opposite of that. So clutter, making things bigger than they are, making things harder than they need to be is what's going to hold us back. So the simplicity card in the position of difficulties is being able to identify that you need to simplify things so that you can overcome any difficulties. And by not simplifying things, you are going to make things very difficult for yourself. So a quick summary of our 6 cards. The first one is all about you. Second one, love. The area of money is our 3rd card. Our 4th card is enterprise and business creativity. Our 5th card is the direction, how you're going to achieve those other categories. And our last one is difficulties, what you need to do to alleviate difficulties. That brings us to the end of this how-to video. I hope that's given you some valuable insight in how to get the most out of your readings and interpreting the different cards. We have both, as I said earlier, a how-to on the basic reading and a how-to video on your 4 steps. If you'd like links to those, click the links below. Also, subscribe to our channel so that you can stay abreast of any new videos that we release.